Hi, it's Bren, and today we have Jason Clevenger. He is with the Salvation Army in Dallas, Texas, but he does more than just work for the Salvation Army. He works with their rehabilitation program. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into what you do.
Well, I actually have a history of substance abuse myself. I ended up in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. The last time I was in jail, the judge said, I'm going to let you out, but you need to find somewhere to go and something to do with your life. And I was led to the Salvation Army and entered their program back in 2002, completed their program, and then I went off to become a counselor, worked in the counseling field since 2005, and then became the program director of the program I entered in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, not only are you the program director and you've been doing this for several years, you have experienced what you're now supporting.
Yes, been on both sides of the chair.
hmm What is a typical person that comes through there? What is their background?
Typically, when men come to our program, we serve age 21 to 65, and they're all in through that age category. But most guys, when they come into our program, they have run out of options with their family. They've run out of options with careers. A lot of them have extensive backgrounds, have been in and out of jail, have a hard time keeping jobs due to substance abuse. So we're almost kind of like the last stop for a lot of these
Mhm.
guys.
What is your success rate on staying clean for the people who go through your program?
It's,
How rigorous is it? What does it entail, and then what is the outcome?
okay, we are a 6 month residential program.
Very
Uh,
good.
six
30
months
days isn't enough.
30 days is just a drop in the bucket. But yeah, we're 6 months. They work with a counselor. They have group sessions, individual sessions. We have AA meetings that start at 5:30 in the morning, and our last one's over at 9 o'clock at night. Of course, we're faith based, so they have chapel and Bible studies, and they have to meet requirements to progress through the program. And they can stay with us up to a year because we don't want them just to complete the program and not have a stable
Right.
place to live
They
and
revert back,
a job conducive to recovery. So we try to work with them on, having those two things in place before they leave our program.
which
And
is
I
good.
would say if they can, we have about a 25% rate of graduates that
hmm
graduate the program, and I would say probably about a 15 to 20% rate of that continue to maintain long-term recovery.
Which is absolutely wonderful because you don't know what individual is going to be successful. So you got to put that out there to help whoever needs that help. And it is a mindset. I mean,
It
granted,
is.
they need to want to do this, but you're not just located, you are located in Dallas, but the Salvation Army has this type of help with their rehabilitation program throughout the nation, right?
Yes, almost every major city has one, and we have
Mhm.
probably five here in Texas. I think there's two in Oklahoma. So I know they're all around, and we do have some female facilities, but there's none in Texas.
Right. Okay. So do you feel, because I know you've probably had a lot of incarcerated people coming through as well, people who've been in and out because they're users. Do you feel that incarceration was the answer for what they were going through? And as yourself, you can speak for yourself and then through others that you have seen.
I do not think incarceration is the answer because a lot of guys don't know all the tricks and trades until they go to
Right.
jail. They pick up
Right.
new tricks and trades, and then you come out with felonies on your record, and then it's hard to get a job. I mean, it's and
It
a lot
is.
of times the rehabilitation they have in jail is not really rehabilitation.
Mhm. Especially if you're only there short term or you're in and out. So it makes it hard to get the programs finished because you may or may not be there, or you're going to get transferred, or you're going to get start in jail, you end up in prison. So you're not
And they move around
always
several
right.
times.
Exactly. So when you were in and out, was there any programs for you in jail?
Uh, not at that time.
Hmm. And do you see any new programs with the guys coming out? Do they talk about any help that they received while they were incarcerated?
Well, they do have the Safe P programs, which are the substance abuse felony education programs,
Hmm.
and those do help. But I do see recidivism with those as well, because I
Right.
think it's that next step once they get out of, okay, now what do I do? I've got this education, but
What do I do with it?
having a hard time getting a job.
Mhm.
Trying to find a place to live, because a lot of people will not, rent to felons.
That's true. And they're labeled for the rest of their life.
Yeah,
They absolutely are. Unless, because the Salvation Army is a faith-based program, you believe in your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because at that time your past is forgiven, your sins are forgiven.
it
So
is.
that is one of the most important things that I love about the Salvation Army is that they put that out there. They're not ashamed of it.
Yeah,
They make it part of their program, and I like to say, with God on your side, you're not going to fail.
right.
You're just not going to fail. But with that also being said, you got to have that faith. You've got to also
Exactly.
want that change, and it is a change. So you said 6 months. What is their first 30 days like when they come in?
Uh, First 30 days is what we call our orientation phase. It's really just getting familiar with the program. We don't allow them to leave the building for the first 30 days because we want them to, get familiar with their surroundings and not,
And not go
that's
back
very
to
easy
where
to
they came from.
hard for most guys to kick the habit.
Right.
We also limit, they can have one phone call during the first 30 days because outside distractions seem to be a reason guys want to leave. They can write letters, they can, to their
Right.
family. Really want them to focus on, why are you here? What are you wanting to do? And, then they hit the ground running. One thing I love about our program, as opposed to other programs, we have a work therapy part of our program because it's free to come to our program, and we're totally funded by the donations that people, they're used furniture and clothing. We go around, pick it up, and then we sell it in our stores.
Right.
So we assign job positions to all the men when they get here. You may be working in housekeeping, you may be working in the kitchen, you may be helping unloading a truck, and they get to practice the skills they get in their classes of anger management and life skills, and
Which is good.
learning to suit up and show up and meet a goal, and
Mhm.
be able to interact with your you know fellows around you and your supervisor.
Which is
And some of
absolutely
these guys
wonderful.
have had no job skills.
So think about that, folks. The Salvation Army, it's not just a thrift store that you go in and buy used products, used clothing, furniture, frames, kitchenware, crafts, toys. They really have it all in there. But you're donating to help people recover. You're donating to help spread the word of Christ. You are donating to make change possible. And when you do that, it really helps out people. What would you recommend somebody that is just possibly come out of incarceration? They're really struggling with, do I use, do I not use, do I go back to the same people I knew before? I really don't have a place to live. What is the first steps? What do you recommend that they do to get in touch with anybody that's part of the Salvation Army?
I mean, Salvation Armies are pretty much everywhere, whether they have an adult rehabilitation center or
Mhm.
not. But our mission is to spread the gospel and to help those in need. So they can go to any Salvation Army and say, "Hey, this is what's going on with me. I'm just out, just recently got out. I don't know what I'm doing," and they will get them in touch with someone to help them out.
So the tools and the resources are there, regardless if it's actually a rehabilitation center, which
Yeah,
is which is good.
that's our mission statement, is to help others.
That's right. That's right. And you guys do the bell ringers at Christmas?
We
You see that?
do.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, most people think that's associated with the adult rehabilitation center. We have guys that go out and do that, but all of the bell ringing helps the social services center, which helps the homeless, and the
Right.
veterans programs and the women's programs. Our we are totally self-supported with the donations of used goods. So if you want to help our program, either shop in one of our thrift stores or drop off a donation or call and have us come pick up
Absolutely.
a donation.
Absolutely. And you can also donate money.
Yes, we take that
It
too.
doesn't have to be items, but before you throw it to the curb, see if the Salvation Army might want it, because it
Yes.
makes a difference. They're changing lives. As a recovering addict, because I think you're always recovering. I don't know, if you don't think you're an addict, then I think you're going to have a better
Well,
chance of slipping. Right. So you've been almost 20 years now.
yes.
Yes. What was it like for you coming out of that addiction?
It was scary. It was hard. It was, you're all alone. You can't hang out with the people you used to hang out with because I wasn't hanging out with anybody good. My family had got to the point that they were, tired of me. I remember my turning point was when I got in front of the judge and both my sisters stood up and told the judge, I don't know why you're letting him out. He has no place to
Oh,
go.
wow. Wow,
But
that was heartbreaking, I bet, but also eye-opening.
and it was truthful because
Yeah.
in my addiction, I manipulated, I lied, I did all the things we do to
Mhm.
get that next fix.
And what was it like once you became clean and rebuilding that relationship with your family? I'm assuming that you have done that.
I have. It's been used to they stopped inviting me to family functions because I wouldn't show up, or I'd show up right before everybody else was leaving. But now, I mean, they call me when everybody has problems, and it's really cool to see how God can take you and change you if you're willing to follow that. And things I thought would never be restored are restored even better than they were.
Right. I've had a pastor tell me once that God could make it like it never happened.
Yeah,
And and when I say that, I don't mean that he washes it away, but he restores and he rebuilds, and your life is so much better, cleaner, crisper. Uh, every aspect of it has a new meaning than the way that it was before. Yes, it happened, but he uses everything for good. So then it propels it all forward. And if you've truly changed, which is what this rehabilitation program does, then you're setting yourself up for success now. And I don't mean money, I mean success, because you are no longer where you used to be.
oh yes, most
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of it when I get new guys coming here and they ask me, "Have you ever done drugs?"
They don't think you've been through it.
Yeah, I'm like, God cleans me up really well. I
Yeah.
have done lots in my time. Yeah.
Yes. And I bet they're surprised when you can relate with what they're going through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a cousin that's going through a similar situation, and he's clean now, and he is now working at a rehab program for men where they house them and help them out, and it's now became his job,
Mhm.
and he's so thankful for it. And I've seen such a change in him, that change is possible if you want it. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. Well, Jason, where can they go if they want to donate money? Is there a website or
Just USS Salvation Army, and then they'll have a donate.
okay? And that's just the
And,
website.
yeah,
And
and
if they want
if
to
you look up,
contact, go
if you
ahead.
want to look up the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Centers, you can just look up each or whatever area they'd want to donate to, and then
Okay.
pull up their website, and they'll be able
So
to donate.
your Dallas area has its own website.
Yes.
How many men do you see a year?
Well, we house 135 men,
That's a lot.
and yeah, we typically have 40 to 50 intakes a month. So
Do you have a waiting list?
currently we do not.
Hmm.
But when it gets
That's
really,
good,
really hot, and which it's getting there, or it gets really, really cold, that's when we typically have a waiting list. But right now we have open beds. So
because they're coming in off the streets,
yes.
right? Which is unfortunate. But do you often see a lot of the same people coming back through? Was there
We do.
regulations for that? Yeah, and that door is always open.
We've actually started capping it off after they've been here so many times. We will refer them to another facility just to
And
see
that
if
makes
there's
sense.
something different.
Right. And that makes sense. And I'm assuming that all the facilities straight across the board with the Salvation Army have the same policies and procedures.
Yeah, we try to make everything standardized and um, help help the men as best we can.
I think it's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing. And I love the thrift stores. Their prices are right. They don't have junky stuff. They tend to make sure that it's good stuff and the price is right. So please go there and shop. You're never too good. I don't care what anybody says, because the first time you wash that brand new pair of jeans, they're now used.
They are.
That's right. Well, thank you, Jason. If you have anything you want to say in closing to anybody watching, what would that be?
Uh, Well, the Salvation Army is doing the most good, and we're here to help. So, if you know anybody struggling, there is help available. If someone tells you there's no help out there, well, they're not quite ready yet, because there is help if
That's
they
right.
will pick up the phone and call someone.
Which is absolutely amazing. If you need help and you are wanting to change your life and you need to drop the addiction of whatever it is that you're addicted to, if it's drugs, if it's alcohol, whatever it might be, and you need somebody to talk to, then pick up the phone and call the Salvation Army. You can also call me. I'll get you in touch with somebody that's local. I'll try to find an office for you. 913-957-3693. If you don't get me, leave a message. I will call you back. And thank you all for watching. And just go check out the Salvation Army thrift stores, check out their website, and donate. Even if it's $1, it's helping somebody. So thank you again, Jason. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.